Okay, let's talk about legislation, right? Acts and statutes. Because most people still believe that acts and statutes apply to men and women, and they don't. It's a very common misconception. I'm going to try and break this down the best I can. I won't drag this video on for too long, and we're going to apply logic. In fact, we're going to apply lots of logic. One of the very simple questions I want to ask you first is anything man creates above man? So can man create something and then that exists as the authority over man? Yes or no? I hope you said no. Because it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. That wouldn't be very logical at all, would it? So if we know for a fact that, let's say for example, the Crown Prosecution Service, the leading prosecutor in this country, if we know for a fact that they are a creature of statute, and there's no arguing that, I've got it in writing by a judge, by a King's Council judge, they are a creature of statute. So if they are a creation of man, why are we going to allow them to have authority over us? And how did they get there in the first place? How have we got to this point? And it is quite clear. Now, whether you believe in the birth registration person or not is irrelevant. I mean, just the way that this whole system's set up is even further evidence that it's real, you know? Because statute cannot control another man. So what they've done is they've created another creature of statute through this Births and Registrations Act, and they've gave you a person. Now, in their legislative system, they can give as much authority to the Crown Prosecution Service over these persons as they want, right? As much as they want. They can do whatever they want. It's their system. But they only have control over persons, over other creatures of statute, over the ens legis, right? Which is probably why it's called legislation, legislation, right? Ens legis. It wouldn't fucking surprise me. So, and that's what they use. Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought then. That's what they use to reach us. So all of the duties and obligations and liabilities do fall upon that person. Absolutely. There's no dispute with that. But they need us to identify as that name, so then those duties, liabilities and obligations transfer to us. It's a very fucking clever system. But there's a reason why every single act and statute, now go read them, go read the Road Traffic Act, go read whatever the fuck you want. It's all directed at persons. You don't want to be looking at the definition of person in the Oxford Dictionary. You want to look at what it means in their legal system. And it can include anything from fucking corporations to various other legal entities. That's what the Crown Prosecution Service have authority over. That is who acts and statutes apply to. As we've already established, when you apply very simple basic logic, nothing man creates is above man. That's why they made this system. So this is why many of us say that acts and statutes do not apply to men and women. Law is simple, guys. Cause no loss, no harm, and don't defraud. It's not hard, is it? It doesn't require hundreds upon hundreds of different statutes consistently amended on various different dates with 20 to 30 different fucking subsections. That's not law. That's a policy. That's rules of the corporation. Because they believe, and as long as we keep identifying as a person, they believe we're essentially employees of the United Kingdom Corporation. And of course, employees got to abide by company rules. That's where the fucking trick comes in. Right, I promised I wouldn't keep this video on for too long. I am going to close it here. If people have questions, by all means, ask questions. But again, just apply the simple logic. Nothing man creates is above man. So if they are all creatures of statute, stop letting them fucking reach you. They're going after the name. If you keep representing that name, if you keep saying you are responsible for that name, or you are that name, then all this act and statutes, the bollocks that applies to persons, not people, is gonna fucking unfortunately reach you. There isn't much more to it, guys.